What's up, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to break down what's happening with SPY, Tesla, Nvidia, and the overall markets. I'm also going to break down a very, very important warning about tomorrow. But just know that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out my Moomoo link. If you deposit $100, you're guaranteed 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed 15. And the offer's been extended until March 31st. Anyways, now let's talk about what's happening with the market. So, as you could see, SPY had this like downtrend that's been established for the last couple of weeks. However, for the last couple of days, for the last like 2 days, I want to say that SPY also has a possible inverse head and shoulders. So for the very short term, it just suggests that we could go either way. The downtrend suggests that there could still be downside coming, but this inverse head and shoulders here also suggests that there could be a bounce. And the reason why the market's like this is because we have big data that's going to determine the direction we end up moving in. So for tomorrow, 1 hour before the market opens at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have the very important CPI report coming out. Please know that on a core basis, we're expecting the numbers to be about the same, but that's for month over month. For CPI month over month for all items, we're also expecting them to be about the same. But for CPI, core CPI year over year, we're expecting 3.3% the same as before. And then for all items CPI year over year, we're expecting 0.9%, a slight increase compared to before. So what we're expecting for CPI is the same numbers with a slight increase in all items CPI. We'll see what the numbers look like. Will they be hot? Will they be tame? That's going to have a big effect on the way the market ends up moving. On top of this, we also have big bank earnings. We have JP Morgan Chase, Citi, BlackRock, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs all announcing earnings before market open. So what all of this means is that we have big bank earnings and CPI data all coming up before open. If you're holding anything overnight, if you're trying to day trade or swing trade, I do want to give you guys a warning to be a little bit careful because we don't know what's going to happen with CPI and all this data. The market may bounce or it may dump. We don't know for sure. And that's why I always say it's important to manage risks. Not financial advice when I say that. Okay, so I'm not giving financial advice. I'm simply saying that you could do whatever you want, but I just want to let you guys know what the risks are, right? Especially when you consider the fact that all this data comes out. So that being said, what do I think is going to happen? Here's my answer. If we get a decent CPI, the big bank earnings pump us. You want to see SPY essentially break 585, start pumping to at least 588 to 590 or above. If we get bad data and we end up losing support right here around 578, we're looking for a retest of 575 or below. There's a possible inverse head and shoulders, but anything could happen on those CPI days. So just be careful and be very, very patient. Okay, so that's my warning for everyone. You guys can make money either way depending on what you want to do, but just be careful knowing that this data is coming out. For ES, we're technically on a bit of a downtrend. However, we'll be watching to see if we can try to reclaim 58.93 to start bouncing. There's also that possible inverse head and shoulders to break past the 5900s. Or if we get a big rug pull, we end up losing 5800 flats to start looking bearish. Could go either way. Lose 5800, we're bearish. Break 5900, we're bullish. We're stuck in between. So we will see which way we end up going after CPI comes out. That's why the market's indecisive. For Nvidia, we've been on a bit of a downtrend. Will this lose 130 and start dumping down towards like 125? Or will this start bouncing to break past 133 to push for 137? It could go either way as we're stuck in between. So give this some time to develop. Right now, it does look a little bit weaker technically, especially since we're rejecting off our 20 EMA. So Nvidia does suggest downsides a little bit more probable, but we'll see just to be safe. Right now, Bitcoin's very indecisive, going back and forth right here. I do want to mention that my warning for everyone is the fact that Bitcoin technically still has this like giant head and shoulders. There's like a left shoulder here, the head, and the right shoulder. Doesn't guarantee anything. Will we see a big rug pull thanks to CPI to lose 94,000, or do we break 97,000 and bounce? It could go either way. For Tesla, we pumped very nicely to 420, but then we did not sustain that. We got a rejection. Now we're currently at 397. So will Tesla push back into the 400s to reclaim 420, or do we get a big rug pull, start dumping back down to about 385 or below? Could go either way. We're technically making lower highs, so we'll just have to wait and see. But right now, we are still stuck. So give this some time to develop, and we'll see what we end up getting from here. For NQ, we're on a bit of a downtrend as well. We have to see if we could reclaim 21,050. If we don't reclaim that, we could be dumping all the way down to about 20,700. So we're looking a little bit weaker on NQ. If we don't reclaim the 21,000s, we could be continuing to fall lower. It does show some weakness right now. Same thing with the QQQ. We're making lower highs right here. We'll see if we try to reclaim 510 or not. If we do that, right, there's a possible inverse head and shoulders that could suggest we're about to reclaim 510 and bounce. If not, if it's going to fail, we want to see this thing lose 500. If that fails, this is going to dump to about 495 then 492. So keep those levels in mind. So just let me make that very, very clear. Apple's on a bit of a downtrend. Excuse me. We have to see if we could try to bounce back up towards 236 plus to 238, or if we get a big rug pull, if we end up losing like 230, we're going to be dumping. Could go either way. We're going to be watching this very closely. The Russell's trying to push here. If we can hold above 219, we're looking for a push for 222. If we end up losing 218, we're dumping. I hope we hold above 219 to push higher, so give this some time to develop. For coin is stuck in the middle. There's a possible inverse head and shoulders, but we need to try to break past 258 and 266 to turn back up. If we end up losing 248, we could be dumping, so we're stuck in between, so give this time to develop. Amazon showing some weakness as we have these wicks forming. We could be dipping closer to 215 if this continues to fall. If we break past 220, we could try to bounce. Look for a little bit more downside as a stronger possibility. For Meta, we're also on a bit of a downtrend. We have to try to reclaim 606. If not, not 606, 594. We want to reclaim 594 and then 600. If not, this is going to be at risk of dipping to about 585 or below. So we'll see which way this goes. It does look a little bit weaker. Microsoft looks a little bit weaker. We did push our 20 EMA only to reject, but there are buyers trying to hold it above like 410. So it's stuck between this range between 410 and 418. We'll see what that leads to. Google's also stuck right here. Will we end up reclaiming 193 to bounce, or do we end up losing 188 to start dipping? So give this some time to develop. With that being said, the market's indecisive. It could go either way. There's a small inverse head and shoulders on SPY and the QQQ ES as well. But at the same time, there's also a larger downtrend that's still continuing. So we'll have to see if the market gets a big bounce or not. Technicals are not everything. Right now, it's going to depend on the status. So once again, this is your last warning for holding anything overnight. Be careful, guys. Thank you for listening. Have a good rest of your day, and peace out.